Poetry of Poses, Legend of Chris Bumstead. Before the lights hit his skin, before the tan dried like lacquer on a statue, before Classic Physique was resurrected like a Greek sequel, there was just a kid with a barbell and a belief. See, myths aren't born, they're built, brick by brick, rep by rep, a chiseling of choices the crowd never witnesses. Hercules had 12 labors. Chris had thousands, the kind you don't celebrate, the kind you can't live stream. Nephropathy that stalks like the Nemean lion at dawn, or anxiety tightening around his neck like Hera's snakes sent to wreck. Because posing isn't the labor. Posing is the permission slip to show the world the work they never saw. 1. Front double biceps, the announcement. This isn't arrogance, it's arrival. Arms raised like two question marks, asking, do you understand what it took to stand here? This is the silent autobiography of someone who faced autoimmune avalanches, kidneys that clogged, and mental health battles that felt like the Lernaean Hydra. Cut down one fear and two more reprogrammed. Hercules wrestled lions. Chris wrestled himself in the age of Instagram. 2. Front lat spread, taking up space. Widening your lats is widening your life, a promise to occupy the real estate you once felt unworthy of. The Greeks carved gods from marble. Chris carved one from a morning routine, caffeine and creatine. This isn't a pose, it's a proclamation. I belong here, even when his mind said otherwise. 3. Side chest, stillness as strength. Everyone sees the striations, no one sees the storms. Stillness is the most underrated superpower, because to stand perfectly still, you must first quiet the chaos inside. The mind is a stable, and like Hercules cleansing the Aegean barns, Chris spent years rinsing out doubt, fear, and the fables that pile up from social media clout. This is the sculptor's pose. Angles, intention, breath borrowed from serenity. A reminder that beauty isn't the opposite of struggle at all. It's struggle that finally learned to stand tall. 4. Side triceps, the reveal. Turn sideways, and the truth turns with you. This is exposure, no shadow to hide behind, no illusion to lean on, just tendon, tension, and 10 years trimming the unnecessary. The Greeks had goddesses judge heroes. Chris had comment sections, and a mind that magnifies criticism into a multi-headed monster. Same brawn, different pantheon. 5. Back double biceps, the biography you can't read. Funny thing about backs, they tell the real story, because you're the only one who never sees it. Every ridge, every line is a pen stroke of a chapter written in sweat and revised in self-control. This is the labor Hercules never had to do. Manage kidneys that needed caution, fight anxiety that clawed at the psyche, and set the standard for an entire division while posing with precision. 6. Back lat spread, the fortress. Turn around and you'll see why symmetry feels spiritual. A wall of willpower, a fortress made of food scales, failures, flare-ups, and the fatigue of someone who showed up on days he couldn't stand himself. This isn't just a spread, it's a shield, not against enemies, but against excuses. Hercules captured Cerberus to prove he could face the underworld. Chris captured 6 straight Mr. Olympia titles to prove he could face the inner world. 7. Abs and thighs, the price tag. Abs aren't built in the gym. They're built when hunger taps your shoulder and you tell it, not yet. Thighs aren't built by squat PRs. They're built on the days you can barely lift the bar. This pose is the receipt, itemized, stapled, a proof of purchase for every sacrifice placed at the altar of eternity. Atlas held the heavens. Chris held contractions on 900 calories a day with cortisol rising like the sun. Which is the better display? 8. The classic pose, the icon. This is the silhouette that outlives the man, the pose that turns mortals into metaphors. Not Hercules, not a god, something rarer. A human with human problems, becoming the standard of the sport he saved. This is the moment where Bumstead stops being a name and becomes a symbol of humanity's potential to rekindle. Epilogue. We were witness. Flexing is easy. Becoming someone worth placing on a pedestal is not. And that is why we watch him. Not for the muscle, but for the message. You don't have to be divine to reach the goal line, or need a god's cosign. You just need the courage to carve yourself into the kind of person who people perceive as more. Hercules had 12 labors. Chris had a score. The invisible ones, the internal ones, the ones that don't earn trophies, but return transformation. He faced them all. And that's the poetry of poses for a man who rose when darkness closes.